An almost 35-inch walleye was caught on the Missouri River. The Dakotas growing big, and Mille Lacs ice mountains are back. We got that and more coming up right now in Target Walleye's Top 5 presented by Seafoam. Let's dive on in. This has to be one of the longest walleyes ever caught in North Dakota at just a hair under 35 inches. Let that soak in for a second. Chan Op caught it just this last week on the Missouri River, somewhere just south of the Bismarck-Mandan area. Now, surprisingly enough, that fish only weighed just under 16 pounds. Only? I guess that post said only because the current state record caught by Jared Shipkowski was about 2 inches shorter at 33 inches, and that fish weighed 16 pounds 6 ounces, which brings us to number 2. So Jared caught that fish, the current North Dakota state record walleye, trolling crankbaits in the Cannonball area of the Missouri River, also just south of Bismarck. And I reached out to him when he caught that new state record just a couple of springs ago and got some details on how he caught it. And they were trolling their crankbaits in 3 feet and less of water. He said they were running offshore tackle planer boards so that they could run 4 lines out each side. And also, of course, to get those crankbaits out away from the boat so they wouldn't spook those fish in such skinny water. And about 1 hour before dark, a custom-painted Smithwick Perfect 10 Rogue turned their live well from a fish fry into an oh my, it's fire drill time, baby.
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm! Wait.
And the rest is history. But it's a short history because that record was just set 2 years ago and there's already been multiple fish flirting with the record. Which brings us to number 3. So North Dakota is one of those states where you can actually target walleyes during the pre-spawn and spawn, hence those big egg-filled bellies. But it's not just the spring bite that Jared has to worry about as far as someone breaking his current record goes. Just this last fall, Jeff Ensminger plucked this ridiculous 34.5-inch walleye out of Lake Sakakawea. Get this, he had that fish weighed in Garrison where it went 16.7, which is an ounce better than the current state record, but the place couldn't certify the weight, and so he had to drive about an hour and a half to Bismarck to find a certified scale, and it took, a decent amount of time to get there, and fish can lose some weight the longer they're out of the water, and then ended up weighing 16.03 on a certified scale. And you might remember this 16-pound 9-ounce walleye that was caught in 2019 out of the Heart River in Mandan, and it was officially awarded a new state record, but then just a few days later was disqualified when it was deemed to be foul hooked. So with all that being said, obviously North Dakota grows them big, and that was 3 different systems that all kicked out a basically state record sized walleye over the last few seasons. So I don't think it's a matter of if the North Dakota state record walleye is going to be broken again. I think it's a matter of when. Okay, so I'm being warned to stop talking about all the giant walleyes that North Dakota has to offer before a whole army of farm boys is gunning for me. So yeah, definitely don't go to North Dakota fishing for walleyes. They're not big, they don't grow fast, and they definitely do not eat plastics and artificials up shallow all season long.
Oh yeah, sure! You got it.
So, what else can we talk about? Is South Dakota fair game?
Please, no!
No?
No!
Yeah, you definitely don't ever want to go to South Dakota either, because they never catch walleyes that are 16 pounds, basically 16 pounds. The GFP also doesn't catch walleyes over 16 pounds and over 17 pounds basically every year during their annual egg take in the spring. So yeah, moving on. So yeah, since we're banned from talking about Upper Dakota and Lower Dakota until further notice, let's slide on over to Minnesota here, where we're basically not allowed to target game fish until it's 80 degrees outside. And in the meantime, we just hang around and we can either catch panfish or carp. Of course, that's because our game fish season doesn't open until basically the middle of May. Not that it would have made that much of a difference this year, considering over half of the lakes in our state still had ice on them up until the last couple days. As you can see from this satellite image taken on Wednesday of Mille Lacs, about half of the lake had opened up, and there's a phenomenon that happens about every single year when you got 20 to 40 mile per hour gusts blowing that ice sheet around the lake depending on the direction, and it piles it up, and folks call it ice mountains. And Ma Nature can stack up chunks of ice as tall as 25 feet on the windward side of the lake. And this post from Christina Marie and her crazy husband can kind of help put that into perspective. Do not try this at home. Some years, depending on the wind direction, those ice sheets can be pushed all the way up into folks' living rooms. It literally destroys cabins that are close to the lakeshore. And now, luckily, this year, it doesn't sound like it's caused as much damage as much as it has just caused an inconvenience, depending on where you're trying to get to. But it should all be gone in the next couple of days before fishing opener, and we'll be catching walleyes before you know it, though it's definitely not going to be soon enough. Alright, that wraps up this week's Top 5. A big shout out to Seafoam for keeping us running smooth and making this video series possible. And if you want more walleye related content like this, sign up for our free Target Walleye emails at targetwalleye.com, and I'll see you back in 7.